Hey guys, how you doing out there? Decided to do a quick review. Just finished watching Christopher Nolan's first film, Following. If you don't know who Christopher Nolan is, this is his first film. He uh, became prolific to me as a director after I watched Memento. I think the first film of his I saw was Insomnia, which I enjoyed. Uh, so I'm a big Pacino fan, so I like that movie a lot. Like Batman Begins, don't really care for it a whole lot. I'm a bigger fan of the Tim Burton Batman movies, but I like Batman Begins. And The Dark Knight, being as overrated as it is a good film. It's just not a good Batman movie. Is good as well. I like The Prestige a lot. Really like The Prestige. I think people picked on that movie too much. I really enjoyed it. But that's just introducing to some of you who don't know who Christopher Nolan is, or maybe don't realize that he's the director that made those films. But anyway, this is a really interesting movie, a really low budget movie. You can tell it's just a shoestring budget. It's a black and white film. It's kind of a film noir of a sort, but it's really interesting. The way the story is told is kind of reminds you of some early Kubrick stuff, or some Tarantino stuff, to where it kind of jumps around, and it it's not like Memento though, because Memento had a point behind why the story was told the way it was in reverse, because it was trying to get across what it's like to have this man's condition, the main character in Memento. But this film's not quite like that. It just jumps around a little bit story wise. But the thing that I found cool about this movie is the performances and the dialogue. It's about a man named Bill who is a struggling writer who's out of work, and he decides to try to get inspired into writing by shadowing people or following them. And he gets obsessed with following people more than anything, because he makes his own rules about it and everything. He says never follow the same person twice, and never follow a woman down a dark alley. He names some other rules that he made for himself personally in his following ventures. But it's he elaborates further, but that's not really the point. The point is you find out that in his following of people, he breaks his number one rule, which is never follow someone twice. And in doing that, the man he continues to follow confronts him on it, and asks him why he's following him. And he kind of denies it at first, and then he gives into it because he knows this guy's serious, knows that he realizes he's been following him. And he finds out that this guy's a burglar, and he goes around burglarizing people. And he goes on one of his burglaries with him, and becomes kind of obsessed with this guy and these burglaries and how he goes about doing them and all this stuff. And he's really he's doing this, he's not really being such a bad person about it. He's not, trying to burglarize people. He's not into it that much. He's obsessed with this guy because he's fascinating to him, and he wants to write about it, and he wants to write a good story. So he's using this as inspiration. But he really gets sucked into this wild story, and by the third act, once you've figured out what's going on in this story, in my opinion, it really blow your mind. I thought it was really interesting. This film definitely garners 2 and 3 and maybe 4 and 5 viewings, just like Memento. But as far as the film goes, I give it about 4 stars out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I'm actually looking forward to watching it again sometime soon. The cool thing about it is this film's not that long, and it doesn't need to be that long. It's a perfect length for a movie that's under an hour and a half. I do believe it's under an hour and 20 minutes. I think it's about an hour and 15. But for a movie that's that short, it really, really does work. And by the end of it, you don't feel like you missed anything, or I didn't anyway. I didn't feel like I missed anything, like there needed to be more there. I enjoyed every bit of it. But as far as rating the DVD, I'd probably give the DVD about 4 out of 5 stars. It's got a commentary, which I need to listen to, and it's got a second angle thing, where it's got the angle feature, to where while you're watching the movie, I tried it a couple times just to see what it did, but while you're watching the movie, you can skip over to seeing still frames of the script while you're still listening to the dialogue of the film, which I think is a neat little feature. I've never seen that before. I got a lot of DVDs, and I've never seen a movie do that. But this movie is kind of like the Memento Special Edition, to where you can restructure the movie in a chronological order and watch it that way. I haven't tried that yet either. But with Memento, I didn't really care for it. It was just neat to try to do it once, to watch the movie in chronological. It just takes away from the film more than it does anything. But it's still nice that that feature's there to for you as the viewer to try it out and see what you think. But beyond that, it's got digitally mastered audio and video, and from what I could tell, it looked pretty good for, you know, an older, low-budget film. And it's not an older film; it's '99, but it was definitely low budget. But beyond that, it's got some trailers. You've got, you know, cast and crew biographies and stuff like that. So it's altogether a neat little package. But I highly recommend this film, especially if you're a fan of Chris Nolan, or maybe if you want to see some of his earlier work. I definitely recommend this. If you're a fan of Memento, I think you'd enjoy this as well. So hopefully you guys liked the review and found it informative. And if you want to see any more, I guess just give me a heads up. Let me know what you want to see me review. So, but until then, and until I get some requests, I guess I'll just try to do a review for some of the movies that I've been watching lately, or whatever I've been watching now that I've got my 30 Westerns in 30 Days marathon finished. That I wanted to, it was like a goal I set for myself. Now I can work into doing other things. So any suggestions are greatly appreciated. So you guys keep watching, keep commenting and rating, and let me know how I'm doing, and I'll keep making the vids. So until next time, I'll see you guys around. Later.